I mean, I'm just done with it. I'm just done with it.
Those of the Iranian. Oh, that's the. Oh, look whose flag it is.
Oh, let's talk about our favorite flags.
Oh, like overall, what my favorite flag? Yeah, Hezbollah.
It's the mustard flag. Somebody said there's a new bomb threat. A new New York City bomb threat. Can you believe
Many
that?
such cases.
The New York PD bomb squad rushed to.
Why are there so many bombs in a city that has a Muslim mayor? It's a coincidence, probably. It's maybe Islamophobia is doing it.
A upper side
Maybe it's Islamophobia.
9/11 call. They really like making bombs over there, huh? They really like their bombs. I think that what happened, why there's been like a huge escalation, it's because of the Iran war and some Muslims thinking that it is Islam that's under attack rather than a regime that uses Islam as an excuse to oppress people being under attack. Because the mayor excuses and encourages it. I think that he rationalizes it.
This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled...
He does rationalize it. He had 2 bombs. Count them. 2 bombs thrown by Muslim men into a protesting crowd in front of his home, who yelled, Allahu Akbar, while throwing them. Make this make sense.
Stop the Islamic takeover of New York City.
And then
And they were right. And they were
Fucking
right.
crazy.
And they were justified a second later when someone threw a bomb at them.
Somebody who was Islamic
Exactly.
threw a bomb at them. But you're not going to mention that. New York City Muslim mayor
this is
names
awesome.
New York's first trans woman
Jesus
to
Christ.
lead LGBTQI.
Jesus fucking
Aspen
Christ.
Gold, for the love of all things, do not unmute the audio. Do not unmute the audio.
A plus
Don't do it.
office.
Don't do it. Never unmute the audio of a trans person.
No, too well.
Ah,
The
fuck,
queer
he
community,
unmuted
as
the
well as
audio.
intersection communities and
Oh,
adjacent
here we go.
communities are under extreme
Holy
attack
shit, look at his hands.
in this country
Oh my
Look at his
God.
hands.
from all angles.
Oh my God. Bro could have been a globe trotter.
From the highest
Oh
levels
my
of government
Lord.
to society in general.
Oh, God.
We're
and
still
to
doing
even
this.
sometimes people that we consider friendly fire, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah, no, by the way, I think it's super important to note that this guy over here, literally biting his tongue over here, he doesn't believe that this is a woman. He doesn't believe he didn't fool this fucker. All right, he didn't believe it's a woman. Right, bro is normally all smiles. 400 teeth shown in every picture he fucking takes.
That's
All right,
true.
he ain't smiling now. All right, he has to grin and bear it because he knows that the best way for Islam to conquer America is to ally with leftist retards.
Yes.
That's right. That's
100%.
right. That's the strategy, actually. Align yourself with the leftist idiots that literally...
Yes, he is using, they are using the left to orchestrate all of this. And it's fucking genius. It's fucking genius. It really is. Because our country is stupid enough to fall for it. And they are. New York City was. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. It's full of degenerates and retards. But, I mean...
really want to allow infinite immigrants to take over our country. Blame white supremacy, all right? Literally use all the fucking talking points of the left every single time. That is how you invade a nation.
Yes,
All
it
right,
is.
This bro has to grin and bear it with this fucking guy, right, standing right over there.
And so
Yeah.
now more than ever in this moment,
No,
it
more
is
than
so
ever in this
critical, I think,
moment.
to have trans leadership because
What do you need? What do you go to the gay
fuck
office
are you
for?
talking
What is
to?
the purpose?
Oh, it's very simple. It's the...
What are they speaking to? What are they speaking to? More now than ever, we need trans leadership. For what? What the fuck are you talking about? Since when does what the fuck is in between someone's legs or how they dress have to do with leadership? This is so fucking stupid.
chop children's
Why are
penises
fucking
off
people
at rapid
entertaining this
strength.
shit?
of the gay office? Like, I don't even understand.
They're trying to re-industrialize the grooming of children. It's very important to them because they can't breed. All right, how do they infect the minds of the next generation if they literally can't breed? Well, they're vampires. They need to groom them, I guess. But it's super important. You need to put trans people everywhere to groom the children. And in fact, this literally helps the Islamic process too. I don't think people understand how they feed off each other. The left needs votes, all right, because they don't have children. So what do? They import infinite retards. The infinite retards that are coming into our country, that are trying to steal the country and conquer us, well, they need something too. And it's actually very simple. Not only do they need the left as the policy that they can import more retards, and this is going to shock you, but they don't give a fuck if they're sterilizing white kids.
Fuck no.
Are you kidding me? That's that.
Fuck no, dude. I mean, we're on the brink of nano fucking robots destroying everybody who's got, cells that are anything but or that are white, and then everything else, gets left alone. That's what we're on the fucking brink of. My uncle brought that shit up to me. He's like, we're all gonna be killed. They're gonna kill all the white people and shit like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. This country is really going to shit. It really is, dude. The people are just thinking about the wrong things. They really are. If anything, people should be thinking about artificial intelligence. That's all people should be thinking about. That's all we should be focusing on. That's it. That's the only conversation that should be in the room. And I'm dead serious. We're all talking about these fucking social issues that just do not fucking matter, while we've got a million other fucking things like the being on the brink of quantum fucking computing and AGI, and then this bullshit. Stupid as fuck.
That's who these trans people are targeting. You don't see a single trans Muslim. That doesn't fucking exist. Because they're taught from the womb that there's two genders, obviously, because that's normal. All right, they're not falling for this shit. No Muslims are falling for this, obviously. But the Muslims will hug the trans people, obviously. Of course they will. Clearly. They're literally operating on each other's best interest. All right, the Muslims get to sterilize the white people and get a body of power with leftist policy. And the leftists get to win elections and bring in a new generation of voters by importing infinite retards. It's a perfect symbiotic system. The only loser here is Western civilization.
Today.
Stand this.
Are under extreme attack in this country.
So let's...
By the way, for the record, the trans community is not under attack.
Real quick, just want to say, I hit 500 subscribers today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Very cool, very cool. I did not mean to hit the mic. Thank you so much. Nobody else is watching. I don't give a fuck. I still hit 500 subscribers today. That is super cool. That makes me happy.
Carry on. Attacking. All right, there's a very big difference. All right, there are more trans shooters than ICE shooters. All right, every time there's a terror attack, you always have to flip a coin. Is it a transgender or a Muslim? Every time. It's diabolical.
Let's ask, how does Hezbollah treat the LGBT plus community? Hassan Nasrallah, head of Hezbollah, those who commit this act, even if they do it once, are to be killed.
It's literally chickens for KFC all over again. And man, dude.
Wild footage of liberal activists
These guys
block
are retarded.
immigration operations? What is this?
This is the unholy alliance over here. It's the communists that are fighting for Cuba, and this is what we're doing.
Look at this pathetic shit.
Damn, they've really crashed out hard, huh?
It really
Are you done?
Look at that.
This is embarrassing.
This shit shouldn't even be allowed. They shouldn't even let people like this yell in other people's fucking face. Police.
Look at this thing. Look at it.
How much? 330 million people in the United States?
I don't know what the political discourse is. I just want to be on the other side of whatever this thing is. All right, I just want to be on the other side. You tell me this thing's politics, and I'm on the other side.
What, 10,000 a year?
I disagree on every policy.
man.
I don't know what they are, but I disagree with all of them.
330 million people in the United States?
Man, we really got to get the orcs out of the Shire. This is a huge problem.
Fucking Nazi. Go home. Go home.
This is the person telling you you're a Nazi on the other side of the anonymous Twitter account.
Your empty ass house and your empty ass bed because the wife you thought loved you left you because you're a piece of shit working for a Nazi as a Nazi.
I really hate
Love that.
this. I don't think that people should be able to do this.
I disagree. I think
Thank
it's awesome.
you.
Like, go up to
Please broadcast yourself being completely insufferable and retarded.
somebody like this close and starts yelling and screaming at them. I don't know why we allow police officers and our law enforcement officers to be disrespected by these rabid animals.
You are pathetic.
Nah, I disagree. Operation Let Them Speak. That's where I stand. Absolutely. I think anyone joining the anti-ICE raid should be treated as an enemy of the United States. Don't get me wrong. But actually, no. That's based as fuck. Actually, no. I'm really glad that these people are doing this on camera. I think the best way to crush the left is you're never going to convince them with ideas because quite literally they're captured. They don't give a fuck. Right? They hate God. They hate Western nations and Western civilization. I think we need to cut obviously foreign funding to like colleges, for example. But we need to humiliate them, and they do a really.
Yeah, I agree. We do need to humiliate them. We need to expose all of the fucking dumb shit that they're doing because I don't think a lot of people are seeing it. I really don't think a lot of people are seeing it. I think they're seeing the footnotes. I think they're seeing the mainstream media, maybe, but I don't think they're actually seeing what's going on when you have these conversations behind closed doors or even out in public. I mean, nobody pays attention to it because nobody wants to fucking deal with it. Nobody wants to deal with it. Everybody's tired, man. Everybody's tired of the dumb shit. Where the fuck is this video? Hold on a second here. Where's Ian Carroll's video? Should be right here. Hold on a second. But Ian Carroll, hey Bruce, leave Ari alone, please. Thank you. Sorry, my cat's fighting. Yeah, right here.
Though there's not a lot of clarity on any of it because of all the censorship. We'll talk about the U.S. casualties, the U.S. bases, the U.S. radar systems that have been hit. We'll talk about the actual balances of power. We'll talk about the very likely probability of boots on the ground trying to take the fucking Strait of Hormuz or possibly Karg Island. We'll talk about all sorts of things that we were told were never going to happen. Things that we are told certainly already happened.
Well, to be fair, it's war and things change. You can't always, predict the future. This is it's a really fucking sensitive situation. That's for certain. Yeah, okay, let's keep going.
And just how fucking backwards it all is. But strangely,
I don't know about backwards. As far as what they're telling the American people, 100%, they're not going to give us every single reason they're doing this, dude. They're not. I think there's a few big reasons. I think there's a few really, really big reasons, and they don't have really anything to do with Iran. I think China's a big one of them. I think we are securing our future as a country, and we're securing our future as the dominant power on this planet as well, because this is what happens, all right? And it's one of two things, brother or sister or whoever you are, whoever ends up watching this shit. One of two things is going to happen. We're going to remain the dominant power on this planet, or China is going to become the dominant power on this planet. And it's one of those two things. Like, there's no in between. All right, nobody else, with the exception of Russia, who I'm not worried about anymore. Yeah, I don't see any other country being any bit of a threat to the United States. Except for China. What's going on? Hey, leave her alone. Hey, off her now. Leave her alone, dude. I'm not even kidding. That's the last time I warn you. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I think it's complicated.
Optimistically, I am more and more every day coming to the conclusion that I think this is the end of Israel. I think Israel will not survive. Every progressive development in this story leads me to believe that Israel has overplayed their last hand. And it's not the part of the poker game where they're already all in and they're like, and the cards are down and they're literally gone right now. But I think that we are at the part of the game where they just lost such a big hand that there's almost no coming back from it. I don't see any way that Israel survives this. And that
interesting
has me feeling good. That is what's carrying me through the absolute shit show.
Well, see, I don't think we should be, praying for Israel's demise per se. I think we should be concerned with the level of control that it's got over our government. But I don't think we should be praying for Israel's demise. 100% they're our closest ally, and there are, if World War III was to occur, I mean, we will need them.
That is fucking Israeli bot X lately. That's what's letting me read the Laura Loomer madness and not want to throw my phone across the fucking room. You always got to remember that what's this quote? The night is darkest before the dawn. The kvetching is loudest before the cabal of the cabal, so to speak. And yeah, we will talk about nukes as well, for sure. We'll talk about all of it. And I'll show you a bunch of new tools that I've been building. I'm, as usual these days, have been trapped in this cycle of needing to understand better what's happening and building tools to help me learn, help me generate reports and infrastructure and understanding. And then I just spend all day building tools and I don't actually get a show ready in time. And then it's like, the end of the day and Candace is on and it's like, fuck, I guess I'll stream tomorrow. Shout out to Bag for gifting a fat bag of subs in the Twitch chat. Thanks, homie. Appreciate it. Thanks for looking out for everybody, getting everybody in. I don't know if subscriber only chat is on or not, but I'll try to keep my eyes showing the line. We're supposed to be shilling for Israel like the good goy that Loomer wants us to back. Complicated stuff. And I would bet that most of you aren't experts at it either, right? And so when you're trying to understand a situation as complicated as World War III and you're not an expert at World War III, you should be looking at lots of expert takes from all the various fields that are involved in the conflict. So that's military, that's energy, that's infrastructure, that's the economy, that's the politics, that's the culture in the Middle East, that's all these things, right? And you should be sourcing your journalism from a wide array of highly experienced, well-established independent journalistic sources. I've been doing my best to build an aggregate of all of that reporting that I'm intaking constantly, like literally fucking constantly. Like I'm falling asleep watching like Colonel McGregor talk about what's going on. I'm waking up to like John Mearsheimer. I'm spending my day with like a podcast or like update videos on. I'm building reporting funnels that are bringing everything in real time, updates, all of it, because there's so much misinformation, there's so much narrative, there's so much propaganda from our own side.
Why is he spending 10 minutes talking about how there could be misinformation? Why doesn't he get to the fucking point? What the fuck is he talking about?
I've been doing my best to do all that, which is a crazy fucking thing to say, but it's easy to forget that like we might not all be on that same page. We might not all realize that, and that is not my assessment. So, Operation Epstein Fury.
There we go.
We are going fucking broke. We are just pouring billions and billions of dollars into this, day by day by day.
I'm going broke.
Estimates are all over the place. We're well over $11 billion by now. The global economic impacts are kind of incalculable at this point. There's a lot of people with opinions about just how bad it's going to be, but it's going to lag. And we have not even begun to feel the pain from the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz yet. We'll get into all that. But the big thing that was probably not accounted for.
With respect, they're not going to have the Strait of Hormuz for long, honestly. I mean, I can't see the U.S. letting that go for more than 2 or 3 days, right? Honestly, if Trump leaves it for more than the next couple days, I'd be very, very surprised that I hadn't taken action by then. Honestly, he's going to take action probably in the next 24 hours on the Strait.
That seems to have been, aside from the Strait of Hormuz, and
it's a mistake,
a million other things that seem to have not been accounted for in the whole buildup here, in the rapid strike, in the Israeli pressured initiation of this fucking thing, is Iran has a lot of fucking missiles. Iran has entire underground cities filled with missiles. They have a massive Shahed drone program developing these sort of like lightweight, cheap Shahed drones that are these like explosive dive bombing drones.
That's true.
That you can see mocked up next to a person here. That they've just got basically an unlimited number of because they're producing them underground, hundreds and hundreds a day, as far as I'm aware. It's kind of hard to tell. We don't really know how much they're producing. They've also got a whole arsenal of old missiles that they've mostly expended, and then all sorts of new missiles that they're also continually producing more of, although not nearly as fast as the drones. And these new missiles are fucking monsters.
They are.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're getting past air defenses. They're getting past the Patriots. They're getting past the stuff that's supposed to stop it. The only air defenses that have been very, very effective are literally the fucking lasers, the futuristic air defense weaponry that Israel has.
you've seen the footage. We'll watch plenty of it today.
But Israel's been hitting hard,
but just for a sense of scale of how fucking big these things are that are slamming into Tel Aviv right now with a person next door. And it's been known that Iran has these underground missile cities, that they have all this underground infrastructure that they've been building out for decades now. But I don't feel confident that the U.S. fully appreciated the scale of the underground infrastructure and the military arsenal that Iran has accumulated. And the most important sort of like complexity to understand here that I've been trying to wrap my head around this entire time I've been learning about it all is the asymmetric nature of this conflict and how asymmetric warfare actually works. And I mean, any student of American military history understands asymmetric warfare, because literally every war that we have fought since World War II has been asymmetric warfare, where we've gotten our asses handed to us in a long, slow burn against a bunch of tribesmen in whatever fucking third world country we're fighting in, because our military is fundamentally not designed to fight these wars. Our military is fundamentally designed to build gigantic, flashy, expensive fucking toys that will make an insane profit for the military-industrial complex, because we have this infinite money button where we just print the world reserve currency. And they all are just so goddamn greedy that they have developed a military infrastructure and pipeline that is all about making money for them. And what makes the most money for them, for the military-industrial complex, is building the most expensive fucking toys imaginable that are really cool, obviously. Like, they're, wow, so impressive. But when you actually use them in a combat situation against, like, the Taliban or the Viet Cong or Iran, they actually do not work.
What's he talking about? Like, what aspect of the United States military arsenal? I would like to know exactly what he's talking about, because I know the Patriot missile has been failing, and those are like $4 million a missile. $4 million per fucking shot. And if you have 3 shots in a row miss and then still get hit, what does that tell you?
They don't win wars. And we're learning that very quickly right about now.
That's scary, man.
Because it turns out that when you have a limited supply of interceptors, and those interceptors cost you millions of dollars per pop.
Yep. $4 million.
And they all depend on this
Patriots,
incredibly expensive radar system of early detection that costs billions of dollars per radar system. And you're fighting an enemy that can produce basically unlimited cheap-ass drones that just dive bomb you. You actually have no defense, because what Iran did is they used up a bunch of our stockpiles, just firing their old shit and firing all these cheap-ass drones. And we started running out of defensive missiles, and they started getting through and blowing up the radar systems that give the early warning detection. Once the radars started getting hit, all of our missiles started getting less and less effective. We started having to use more and more of them in order to intercept any given incoming. And so everything started to get worse and worse and worse. We started to watch the U.S. pull defensive infrastructure away from the Gulf states to try to defend Israel. All that got blown up. And then they started fucking stripping the defensive infrastructure away from the Pacific theater, like out of Taiwan and South Korea, taking THAAD missile systems away from South Korea and bringing them into the Middle East. And now we have reporting that the new shit that got brought in, who would have guessed it, has probably now gotten hit and destroyed, costing billions more dollars and completely neutering the entire American missile defense system.
To be fair, we don't know that yet. He said maybe, probably. We don't know that part yet.
Bernie54 is in the chat promoting the standard propaganda line for anyone that doesn't use their fucking Cortex. Where'd you go, Bernie? Ian, Iran is on their knees, and China and Russia have left him hanging. Bernie, I hope you're joking. Because, oh boy, is that not what's happening at all. Iran is so fucking ready for what's going on right now, and they have been preparing for this fight for decades, and they are just waiting for us to go boots on the ground. Because they've already won the war as it stands. Trump is literally trying to have backdoor secret negotiations with Russia right now to try to get Russia to broker a peace deal because Israel and America are fucked, and we both want a way out of this secretly but can't back off and declare defeat because Trump obviously can't. And so they're trying to like secretly maneuver peace deals, and Iran's like, fuck no, we're fighting, bitch. Get back up and get in the ring.
Really?
And so the issue with the U.S. trying to pull out right now is that we can pull out. We could leave. Trump could leave at any time. He could pull all the shit out and declare some fake-ass victory and be like, haha, we bombed them so much victory, though we didn't achieve any of our goals. Except that Israel can't. Israel is within range, and they are going to continue to get pummeled every single day until Iran is satisfied with the pummeling. And Iran is deeply prepared for the pummeling that they're receiving. They've been through it before. They'll be through it again. They're fucking ready to go. They clearly are not scared. Like literally, the Ayatollah that we killed on day one just hung out. He just hung out outside. He's like, come kill me. I dare you. I will be a martyr. We killed him. We made a martyr. And on day one, we ensured that none of our objectives will be achieved. There will be no regime change because we just martyred their religious leader. And we galvanized support for Iran all across the Muslim world. We galvanized support for the Iranian regime inside of Iran. And we replaced a far more moderate Khamenei with a far more fucking hardliner Khamenei who had, 5 more reasons to hate America by us killing his like wife and daughter and sister and father all in one shot or something like that. So, yeah, they're almost certainly developing a nuke now. Who knows when they'll have it? They're almost certainly not going to.
If they didn't have a nuke before this war, they aren't going to have a nuke now. Especially after all this bullshit. Unless they fucking buy one. Say they purchase one from a cooperating country. That's the only way Iran is going to get a nuke.
Fucking surrender. They're definitely not going to surrender. And they've got Israel by the balls. And we aren't entirely clear on how much of Israel's leadership, how much of Israel's esteemed moral leadership has been eliminated at this point.
Oh, no, man.
So, as for the nuclear program, I just want to remind all of us of the original assessment of the American intelligence community.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2000.
I can't make it louder.
The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program. In the past year, we've seen an erosion of a decades-long taboo in Iran on discussing nuclear weapons.
So, that's where she said that the intelligence community has been assessing that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon and that Khamenei has not reauthorized the nuclear weapons program. And then also, a just quick reminder that the White House literally put out a deceptively edited version of her testimony where they cut out the part where she said that they're not building a nuke, and then they sandwiched 2 other parts together and made it sound like she said they were building a nuke, despite that being exactly what she did not say.
In the past year, we've seen an erosion of a decades-long taboo in Iran on discussing nuclear weapons in public, likely emboldening nuclear weapons advocates within Iran's decision-making apparatus. Iran's enriched uranium stockpile.
So that's where they put their cut in, when they cut to his face. And no, ironically, actually, the guy that we martyred was the one saying no nuclear weapons. It's against our religion to get nuclear weapons. Bad idea. We fucking killed him. And now we've got an Iranian regime that is far more pro-nukes. because of what we did.
I'm sure they were all very pro-nuclear before Khomeini died. They were all pro. Come on, dude, you're reaching on.
There's a couple of different zones in Iran that are relevant to different parts of this conflict. There are nuclear facilities, all grouped up deep in the mountains. We've heard a lot about Fordow. That was where we dropped all the bunker busters. But they have a whole bunch of underground nuclear facilities up in the mountains there. And, I assume that we know about all of their nuclear facilities. I assume. But I don't really know. There's also the Strait of Hormuz down here, where there's both the Bandar Abbas naval base and there's the Hajiabad missile base down there. And we'll talk about that. And then obviously there's Karg Island, which got a lot of press this last week that we'll talk about as well. Big for the oil infrastructure. Probably going to be a site of combat in the near future. There's obviously the network of Iranian proxies that Laura Loomer can't stop screeching about. And the big one right now is Hezbollah in Lebanon. Their proxy network has been greatly deteriorated, but Hezbollah is wreaking fucking havoc on Israel in Lebanon. And we have yet to see the Houthis join the fight, and they have every ability to close down the fucking entrance to the Red Sea and fuck global trade up even more. So I expect that we will be hearing about the Houthis in short order. Obviously, we've all seen the clips of Bibi Netanyahu advocating for war with Iran since before I was born. Every fucking year, he comes to America and tells us that we need to go to war with Iran. Finally gets it. Now his country's getting fucking bombarded, and they're whining, and America is asking everyone to please come and help, and no one wants to come and help. We tried to get 3 different insurgent groups to help us go boots on the ground in Iran, and they all said, fuck no, bro. That's a true story, if you don't know. Let me just get our conflict map out here and clear it up a little bit. So Trump, or I guess the U.S. military, was the CIA, whoever, was trying to mobilize rebel groups up in the Azerbaijan region to come down into Iran to strike them. They weren't about it. They were trying to mobilize forces up in northern Iraq and Turkey and stuff to come in. They were like, fucking nope. There's no one wants to go into Iran. No one wants to go into Iran. Not even the locals want to go into Iran, let alone the U.S. troops. And we're starting to get mixed reporting about U.S. troops, not so much defecting as just not trying to be about it. It's kind of hard to read into some of that. We'll get into that more in coming days.
Happens every war. There's going to be traitors,
But we spent a whole bunch of our missile supply already in the 12-day war. And it's classified exactly how many missiles we have, because if we told everybody, it wouldn't look good. We'd be fucked. But journalists have been tracking how many missiles America has bought, how many missiles America produces each year, how many we've spent in previous conflicts, and it's not looking good. It's looking like we're down to basically no more defensive missiles. That's our Patriots, that's our THAAD missile batteries. It's not looking good. I want to remind us all that we were in fucking peace talks with Iran. We
literally just upped the defense bill, $300 billion, if I'm not mistaken, from $800 billion to $1.1 trillion, I believe. So I think we're okay as far as our missile supply. I'm pretty sure.
We were in de-escalatory peace talks with Iran. We were days away from a fucking deal, and Iran was ready to agree. They had already agreed to zero stockpiling, zero enrichment accumulation, and full verification.
He's kind of full of shit sometimes.
They announced a breakthrough on CBS on February 27th, and then Israel drug us into war less than 2 days later. So that, you know, it's easy to forget how it all started. But let's be real. The goal was never just a disarmed Iran. It was not the nuclear program. It wasn't even Israel's safety. The goal was Israel's hegemony. Israel taking over the region. Israel rising as the new global superpower. That is their goal right now. They are openly discussing it. And for that to happen, they have to destroy Iran. They have to drop it into complete chaos so that they can manage that chaos the way that Mossad does. Just like all the other countries in the Middle East that we've destroyed for them. Marco Rubio fully admitted early on that we were drugged into this war by Israel. Then they tried to backpedal and say he didn't mean what he said. We all watched him say what he said. We were all there.
It's true. I mean, that's not bullshit. That's true.
And now that we're actually in it, Pete Hegseth, the dancing monkey, the dancing drunk monkey, is having to constantly go out and sort of invent fancy war stories with big words that sound very strong about how we've totally obliterated Iran's military. About how the Strait of Hormuz is actually already reopened, except for the part where ships can't go through it.
Secretary Pete Hegseth and
the American people do too. And that makes my job simple. I serve God, the troops, the country, the Constitution, and the President of the United States, and answer only to those. All in service of victory on the battlefield and the military objectives that we've laid out from day one. Defeat the missiles, missile launchers, and defense industrial base, which I laid out today.
We're going to talk about the missiles, missile launchers, and defense industrial base here.
Defeat the Navy and deny Iran the ability to have a nuclear weapon.
Defeat the Navy, open the Strait of Hormuz, I would presume, and deny them the ability to have a nuclear weapon.
Clear, decisive, achievable.
Achievable. Still waiting on that achievement, Pete. Oh, that's the same one.
Cowering. That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually.
This whole thing is really ironic with Bibi possibly being hurt or killed. Putting out a bunch of weird AI video content that we're going to watch.
I placed it earlier, but, you know, just leaving the rest aside, you can kind of see it's completely charred and destroyed. Again, I forgot where I...
In so many of these other states, like Iraq, for example, is that they had centralized military structures. And oh, that's the same one.
He's around here, I think.
Cowering. That's what rats do.
Okay, sorry about that.
We know the new so-called not-so...
But what I was going to say is, I watched that yesterday. The videos of Bibi Netanyahu, they're 100% AI. You can definitely tell. Not even good AI, really. It's okay. It's pretty darn good, but it's not. You can just... I can tell. I've been doing this for a long time. Making videos of the AI and playing in the spectrum, and it looks like it's an AI generated video.
Supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually.
This whole thing is really ironic with Bibi possibly being hurt or killed. Putting out a bunch of weird AI video content that we're going to watch. Them trying to cover up that possibly Itamar Ben-Gvir might be dead too. Possibly the head of Mossad is dead, I think. They're censoring everyone that films any of the strikes in Israel. They're locking them up in jail because they don't want anyone to know how damaged Israel is, how much fucking beating Israel is taking. Because that's really going to help. That's going to work. No one's going to notice. How are they even going to notice? And while he's claiming that the Iranian leadership is fucking hiding like rats in a hole, literally the president of Iran was walking through the streets that day, trolling him, hanging out with his citizens in the downtown streets of Tehran, just taking selfies with people. Jimmy Dore did a really funny take on it.
But there was no voice and there was no video. It was a written statement. He called for unity. Apparently killing tens of thousands of protesters is his kind of unity.
Putting down CIA ops to try to overthrow his government, understandable, bro. It's understandable. If only we did that when Israel infiltrated and subverted our government. Man, we should really take a page out of the Iranian book and not let foreign governments infiltrate and destroy our nation from within. That would be so refreshing.
Iran has plenty of cameras and plenty of voice recorders. Why a written statement? I think you know why. His father, dead. He's scared, he's injured, he's on the run, and he lacks legitimacy. It's a mess for them. Who's in charge? Iran may not even know.
Actually, that's ironically backwards, because Iran's military leadership carefully studied all of the other similar conflicts in history. And they had this famous general that I forget his name. Scott Ritter was going over this a few times, where they realized that what failed in so many of these other states, like Iraq, for example, is that they had centralized military structures. And then when they go to war with the U.S. and their military leadership gets taken out by the precision strikes that we can do, then they have no direction for their military. And so what he did to the Iranian military is he decentralized it on purpose. And he split it from one centralized structure. And over years, they carefully restructured their military to be decentralized to 31 different states. And so when we did our decapitation strikes, for a while there, they went onto autopilot of like, no problem, we know what to fucking do. Launch missiles. I'm in charge of my own fucking county. And I've got my own military, my own infrastructure, my own missiles, my own directives. And they all had their own orders. And they literally all just went on autopilot because they didn't need a centralized command structure. And that's why, as soon as the decapitation strike hit, Iran was like, whatever, cool. And they started firing back. And they've been firing back ever since. I presume that they sort of have re-centralized to a certain degree their military structure, but I don't know. But they are actively and obviously executing a very clear battle strategy. And it hasn't changed since day one. Ostracize the relationship between America and the Gulf states, which is basically broken beyond repair, because we've broken all of our promises to our buddies like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. They don't want us fucking back because we just let them all get hit. We're not protecting them. But at the same time, Iran is only striking almost entirely, for the most part, only striking infrastructure that is military for the US, military for Israel, or that's being used to support military. And they're very actively communicating to the Gulf states, do not let them use your stuff as military or we will strike it. And we will only try to strike military targets. And when, for example, the US is staging in a port, then Iran is communicating, fucking evacuate that port because we're going to hit it because that's a military target now. And they're purposely waiting for the U.S. to escalate and hit a water desalination plant, and then they're striking back and saying, hey, your guys' water is way more at risk than ours. Fuck right off. They waited until the U.S. and Israel hit their oil infrastructure, and then they went, hey, guys, your oil infrastructure is way more at risk than ours. Because that is the uncomfortable truth in this conflict.
Well, Trump was pissed about that too.
Is that
Trump was pissed that Israel hit the oil wells. He said that wasn't supposed to have happened.
Sure, Iran is vulnerable. Sure, Iran can be bombed. Yes, Iran has weak points. But the Allied oil and water infrastructure in the Gulf is wide the fuck open. And at any moment, on any day, Iran could just send a volley of drones at the Saudi oil infrastructure, at the Qatari natural gas infrastructure, and they could destroy the world economy for a decade to come. Because all of those pipelines and oil facilities, they're all just sitting there. And for the entire history of the Middle East in the modern form, their security has been guaranteed by America, saying, hey, we have all of our defensive industry here. We'll put military bases here. We'll keep it safe. You guys invest billions of dollars into your oil infrastructure, and we'll make sure no one fucks with it. And then the moment that we go to war with Iran and they start firing their missiles at us, it becomes very obvious that we cannot defend any of it. We can't fucking stop any of it because they got through and destroyed all of our radar systems, destroyed all of our, literally hit all of our military bases, and we have now evacuated all of them. They're hitting the ports. They're hitting the hotels where our troops are fucking stationed.
Is it? Good.
נפילות אחי, נפילות של החיים בנבטים. נפילות בנבטים אחי. נפילות קשות בנבטים, שומע? וואו, 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 וואו. וואו! הכל נופל לנבטים.
So you start to get a sense of why Israel is trying to censor videos getting out, of why you're not allowed to film this shit. They'll send you to prison for filming and publishing these videos in Israel. Because it is not looking good. Remember how on day 1 and 2 and 3, the videos were full of interceptors all firing up, trying to intercept? And now it's just cluster rockets raining hellfire down on God's chosen people.
אני אומר לך, מתקפה אחת החזקות. אימא'לה, זהו, למקלט. בואו.
And here's an important framing, at least I think it is. This is how I frame this in my mind, because it's true. It's hard to tell for sure what videos are real or not. I've been watching to see, because this is a compilation of videos, and I have watched almost all of the videos come through the feeds. I've got all of them feeding through, and I've been tabulating which ones are like, that one was AI, that one was AI, that one was fake. That one was an old recycled one. There's a bunch of them that I recognize that are like, I know that that one's not real. And I've not seen any of the ones that I know are not real in this compilation. But even if some of these aren't real, just think it through in your mind. That is what the Iranian cluster munitions do. That is what their rockets do, is they break up into up to 80 fucking warheads that come down simultaneously. And we know factually that the interceptor system, A, didn't work that well in the first place, actually, and on hypersonic missiles basically couldn't work. And now, B, the early warning system is destroyed. That interceptor system is completely neutered. It doesn't work. So even if, suppose all of those videos were fake, it is still an accurate representation of what those rockets will be doing when they come down on Israel. So unless the entire war is fake and Iran's not actually launching any of the missiles that they have, then this is what's happening. This is actually what is happening over there, okay? Regardless of whether one or two of the videos are fake or not. They can't intercept them. And each one is 80 fucking missiles. So Do the math on how it's all going over there. And here's the thing. Like I said earlier, America can retreat. Israel cannot. Israel is just sitting ducks. And all they can do is kvetch about the war crimes. Oh my gosh, they're committing war crimes. They're using cluster munitions, which neither Iran nor Israel signed the treaty against use of cluster munitions, by the way. And watching Israel whine about war crimes is just so beautifully fucking ironic.
I honestly, bro, like the whole war crimes because you're using cluster munitions things, dude, you're at fucking war. Who the fuck? What? Since when? When did we start? I don't know. This whole like, we won't use this kind of thing because it's not humane. You're killing each other, dude. You're killing each other for a political purpose. The fuck does it matter how you die? What does it matter how you kill the other person? Cluster munitions, not. It's horseshit.
Fuck you, Israel.
I mean, I
Fuck
agree there.
you.
I agree there.
We all watched you bomb children for 3 fucking years and then come after us for calling you out on it. Fuck you.
It's true.
Zero sympathy. Don't start fights you can't fucking win. Or fight like a man. Or like God's chosen people or whatever, you know? So we're just gonna watch this part one more time.
Allah, you!
Remember, this country is the size of New Jersey, right? Tiny little David, the size of New Jersey. How long do you think they can hold out?
They are a really small country.
This is a confirmed video of Iran's missile strike on Israel's one of Israel's oil and gas facilities. Multiple strikes. So this was after they struck Iran's oil facilities. They're like, fine, let's do it back.
That looks fake.
They're continually matching their escalation.
That one looks fake.
Intentionally. So that they are just like, hey, you did it first, we'll do it back. We won't escalate unless you do, and you escalate, and then it's on, bitch.
On the boat. Look how clustered that is.
And so far, it seems to be working out pretty damn well for them. Here's a guy that was filming this destruction in Israel, and then just getting hassled by a police officer or something. I don't know the validity of this poster or this post, but I know that this general fact is in some ways true. Iran has started launching strikes on specific addresses of Israeli leaders, ministers, commanders, pilots, and intelligence officers, targeted objectives, specific houses, precise strikes. They're getting fed crazy detailed intel from China. China has very advanced satellite and radar imagery and all sorts of fucking high-tech shit over there. And by all indications, China is feeding Iran a whole bunch of targeting data. Sweet Sassy, thank you. Thank you for the gifted subs. If you guys got a sub from Sweet Sassy Bell, be sure to say thanks for hooking it up. Being a homie. So, on to the Netanyahu conspiracy theories.
Dude, I need another ice cream.
Netanyahu was, one last base that got struck real quick is, how we were moving new THAAD missile systems from around the world to move it into the Middle East. Unverified reports coming in indicating that the recently deployed THAAD system in Jordan that just got moved there, intended to replace the previously destroyed system, has now also been rendered inoperable. Satellite imagery corroborates these findings. That is a cost of $4 to $6 billion.
Ouch.
Boom.
Ouch. Ouch.
Right?
You know, you
Whoopsies.
You cannot like.
You don't solve much when you just move a new target into the same target-rich environment where the last one got blown up handily. So, accidental delete. Okay, so now let's get into AI Benji. And let's talk this through. So, Benjamin Netanyahu, there was unconfirmed reports that his house was struck. We weren't really sure where he was. It was all very confusing what exactly got struck. Reporting that he was injured. He stopped appearing anywhere. Yair Netanyahu stopped posting, though Yair is a fucking incessant shitpost troll like Laura Loomer. That he's Benjamin Netanyahu's son who lives in Florida in a cushy fucking apartment. And he just could not, he just posts all day, every day, and then he just stops posting. This was right around the time when Scott Bessent got pulled out of his interview and then came back looking really fucking freaked out. Some people speculated that was the troops deployment stuff. Some people speculated it was maybe Benjamin Netanyahu's dead. No one knows. And then Benjamin Netanyahu failed to show up for the Israeli security briefing, which is a body that he normally leads. He would normally be there. And he wasn't there. That was yesterday. There was a video that came out where people were saying he had 6 fingers. I don't actually think it looked like he had 6 fingers. I think that the fingers thing was kind of a trick of the light. His teeth might have been appearing and disappearing in that video. It's kind of hard to say. Little undecided on whether I feel like that video was AI or not, whether it was a deep fake or not. But now, this video, today, 9:30 a.m., he posts this video like, haha, I'm in a coffee shop. I am so normal. Note that the video is exactly 60 seconds long. Just throwing that out there.
All right. Now let's get a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more today. The old AI is over. Sam Altman just declared the death of Transformers. ChatGPT getting replaced? What?
Sam Altman just said that the entire foundation behind ChatGPT and basically all modern AI is about to be replaced.
Yeah, I knew that
Apple
was
just introduced Leto, a model that can turn a single image into a fully realistic 3-dimensional object with correct lighting and reflections, while Manus launched My Computer, an AI agent that can directly control your PC. Z.AI released GLM5 Turbo built for executing full workflows. Mistral introduced Leanstral that can actually check and fix code on its own, like a built-in expert reviewer. And Inspatio World FM is bringing AI that can understand and generate entire 3-dimensional spaces in real time.
Oh,
all right,
fantastic.
let's start with the
That's gonna be
one
great
that's
for
getting the
video
most
games.
attention. Sam Altman just went back to Stanford and basically said something that sounds simple, but it's actually massive. He said the transformer architecture, the thing that powers ChatGPT and most modern AI, is not the final step. Now that might not sound crazy at first, but think about it like this. Everything you've been seeing over the last few years, GPT models, chatbots, coding assistants, all of that is built on transformers. It's the foundation. So when the guy leading OpenAI starts talking like that foundation might soon be replaced, that's a serious signal. And the reason he gave is actually pretty easy to understand. Transformers are powerful, but they're expensive in a very specific way. The longer the text or data gets, the cost doesn't just go up a bit, it explodes. If you make something 10 times longer, it can take around 100 times more computation to process it. So scaling becomes extremely expensive, extremely fast. That's the wall he's talking about. And then he dropped the more interesting part. He said the next architecture could bring a leap similar to what Transformer did to older systems like LSTM. In other words, not just a small upgrade, a complete shift in how AI works under the hood. Now,
Yeah, I mean that's to be expected, really. What was that? Somebody knock on my door. sorry, kitties. I didn't mean to scare you. Dude, I had to turn that. I had to close the windows. I'm freezing. I'm freezing over her. Daddy's cold. Daddy's real cold. All right, where was I? I wanted to see. No, I'm not gonna watch that. I mean, actually, I gotta watch this Palmer Luckey interview soon for sure. I could swear I had to pull up. Yeah, this was 5 hours ago.
A regime on the ropes. Major strikes take out more Iranian leaders, and movement in the Strait of Hormuz could give oil markets some much-needed optimism. Welcome to the Big Money Show. I'm Taylor Riggs, along with my co-hosts, Dagan McDowell, Brian Brentberg, Jackie DeAngelis, and with us for the hour, Fox.
So for context, what we were just watching with Ian Carrol was 2 days ago, and this is today.
The senior correspondent, Charlie Gasparino. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So more ships making their way through the strait. That is the critical waterway that moves around 20% of the world's oil and gas. Some tankers are sneaking through despite threats, and President Trump says Iran is being dismantled piece by piece.
We hit them so hard like nobody's ever been hit. We hit them very hard, and we've extinguished most of their missiles. We've extinguished most of their drones. We've extinguished most of the places where the missiles and the drones are built. Iran is a shell of itself. It's no longer a bully. It's the one that gets bullied. It's a bully that got beat up. We beat the crap out of them, and they deserve that.
But he's also warning this isn't over yet. So, Charlie, that's sort of where I want to kick things off. Square those two with us. We've beaten them down. The Navy's at the bottom of the sea. They're done. But then we're still sort of getting a mostly blockade, Strait of Hormuz, and saying, you know, they're done, but the war isn't over yet. Can you have it on both sides?
As of now, yes. That doesn't mean it's going to last forever. On my Risk and Return podcast, we had Jack Devine. And if you know anything about Jack Devine, former long-time terrorism expert, like #2 guy at the CIA, to sort of unravel this. And he put it pretty bluntly. He says, we're winning this. Do not believe what you're reading in the papers. This is by all, militarily, this is like a complete catastrophe for Iran.
We also had our chief counterterrorism officer quit today. Yeah, so that's crazy. And he said that we lied. He said that there was never any imminent threat from Iran, that we went over there with intent to get into a war that Israel was pushing us into, and that's why he was quitting.
They still have some capabilities.
To me.
Okay, obviously they can throw a drone at a ship, and that can prevent everybody from going there. They can mine the Straits of Hormuz, which they're doing. They can do these sort of tactical maneuvers that's disruptive, essentially, to the flow of oil. But they're, as a country, they're, as a power, they're toast. And what he believes is that at some point, the U.S. spends a lot of money on the military. We're going to deal with those problems. We don't spend this much money because we're going to let Iran send oil to $150, $200 a barrel by jamming up the Straits of Hormuz. So we're going to do something about this. What I find interesting is that Iran is, in some ways, we're going to get through this at some point, right? It's going to be over. Iran's going to be what it is. Do they think that the oil suppliers, the Gulf nations, are not going to adapt to the fact that they control the Straits of Hormuz? They're going to find an alternative way.
They already have. We've been talking about it.
Yeah, okay, so then they're becoming increasingly irrelevant. And do you see what I'm saying? They're pushing themselves into increasing irrelevance. And if they don't have oil where they can ship around and threaten people with,
that's sort of their leverage.
That's their leverage against the world and for terrorism.
Dagan, talk to me about that. We've talked about the pipeline that runs from east to west. Thank you for correcting me, so I'm trying to get my navigation here. Also, interesting, I think overnight we were hearing a couple of tankers were going through, but pretty much Iran is dictating who they let through or not. I think it was a Pakistani tanker and then maybe an Indian, under an Indian flag LNG, that they're basically going through that strait, but hugging very close to the Iranian coast, basically signaling that Iran is dictating who can and cannot at this moment go through. How do you see this playing out?
Well, Charlie sat down and he, before the show started, noted, if not for the very pro-energy approach and policy of President Trump, where would oil be? If we weren't a net exporter of all petroleum products, where would oil be? It'd be $120 a barrel. It would be even higher. That policy allows the United States to remove this number one state sponsor of terror, has been for almost 50 years. What's happening is, I don't want to diminish what is going on with diesel in this country over $5 a gallon at this point, which hurts transportation. It hurts everybody because of the nature of carting things to market, if you will. However, about half of the oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz, half the oil and product, 20 million total, 15 million crude, is getting to market in other ways. The East-West pipeline that Saudi Arabia built 45 years ago, that's 5 million barrels. There's 1.5 million through the UAE pipeline. That was why I pointed out the importance of Iran attacking with drones Fujairah.
I mean, honestly, none of this is going to be an issue in the next 36 months. Honestly, we're not going to have these issues. All of this is small potatoes compared to what is going to happen in the next 36 months with artificial intelligence, AGI, and ASI.
That's the termination point of that pipeline. But you also have, there is still oil that is being exported and shipped out of Carr to China by Iran.
I know.
There is the release
Pakistan. They're sending. Didn't they get
some
some oil?
There was one. That was like one flag Pakistani ship, I think. But Iran's still getting out 2 million barrels a day by some estimates. There is the 400 million barrel release from the strategic reserves around the globe. So the oil is still flowing, but you have to make up at least half of the oil nonetheless. This is, France says it's an ixnay on, speaking pig Latin, on the helping the United States in...
I think we only have around 50 years left of the oil and gas industry as a whole, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, did you know that? Hold on a second here. Check this out. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. We'll go to ChatGPT. Let's go Grok. I like Grok better a little bit lately. About how long does the oil and gas industry have until we run out? If I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. That translates to about 47 to 56 years. So I am right. Of oil left if consumption stays constant and no new reserves are added or become viable. Common midpoint figures hover around 50 years. Yeah. Boom. So, I mean, again, we definitely are going to have to find alternate means of energy for sure. That's a big for sure.
Any transport escorts through the Strait of Hormuz, but that's last. And I don't even think once our military is done, but it needs to be.
I would say now's not the best time to buy an electric car. I would wait about 6 months. Wait 6 months and you'll have an autonomous car. All the car industries, all the car companies are about to put out autonomous vehicles, and pretty much everybody's cars are going to have autonomous driving capabilities. It's going to come standard with new models. So wait until autonomous goes mainstream, then buy an electric vehicle.
to finish this off, because Iran has sent the signal to the world that it will be able to disrupt
there's always going to ways to
of
turn
the flows
water into
of energy through the strait in perpetuity unless it is decapitated.
Artificial intelligence will find new ways of creating energy that we've never thought of. I mean, think about this, right? The average intelligence of, we did this thought experiment the other day. Think about a human being. Human beings, the most genius human beings on Earth, right, have an IQ of around 200 or so. Think about a machine with the IQ of 1,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000,000. We can't comprehend that kind of intelligence, so we're not going to understand what artificial intelligence is going to do for us. I mean, you guys can literally get ready for anti-aging capabilities. Like we're literally going to have the capability to live forever. No bullshit. It's just going to be expensive. Just the way it is. We're going to have a high universal income. That's all coming. Everybody, you're all going to lose your jobs in the next 5 years. Sorry. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I'm being dead serious. I'm not fear-mongering. You'll be getting a check deposited to your digital currency account every month or every 2 weeks or whatever they decide. Yeah. I suggest community assignments. I say, like, everybody should have to do like 3 community assignments, like go clean up a street or clean up a park or volunteer at a nursing home or whatever the case may be. You have to do 3 assignments a week and you receive your pay. If you don't do them, then you get hit on your pay. And it's going to be so dramatic that we're not going to see inflation anymore. We're going to see deflation. It's going to be very different. Very, very different. NemoClaw.
So Jensen Huang just introduced NVIDIA's NemoClaw, and we have to talk about it. Now, I'm pretty sure you probably have already heard of OpenClaw. I will play the full talk in a moment, but if you haven't heard of OpenClaw, it was basically that open source AI tool that basically lets an AI run on a user's machine and basically do pretty much anything. Now, of course, this was acquired by OpenAI, but people were wondering what would happen.
I mean, it doesn't really matter it doesn't matter if you like AI or not. You're going to have to learn to live with it. It's just what is going to happen. So we've already gone too far to come back. We can't. There was a dropping point, a tipping point, and we've passed it already. We can't come back from it now. AI is going to improve exponentially, and robotics is going to improve exponentially. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a religious person. I'm not a spiritual person. I don't know. I don't believe in afterlife. So it's whatever you believe. I respect it. But I totally just don't believe anything. All I know is what is happening and what is possible. And what's amazing is this might actually prove that there isn't a God. That's the craziest shit, man. That's the craziest shit. Or it might prove that there is. We might be able to meet our maker someday. You never know. Maybe we're in a petri dish, man. Maybe this is an experiment. Think about it. Think about what we're creating and the depths that it goes. Shit, man.
Happened to enterprise AI. So the companies that had built on OpenClaw were concerned, and so NVIDIA actually saw the opening and moved fast. And of course, today, Jensen Huang introduced NemoClaw, and this will let enterprise companies send out AI agents to carry tasks on behalf of their employees. And this platform comes with built-in security and privacy tools, and it's also hardware agnostic, meaning that companies can run it regardless of whether their products are built on NVIDIA chips. And I think this entire thing just goes to show how much activity there is going into this OpenClaw phenomenon. So of course, take a look, because I think this is going to continue to evolve, and computer agents are clearly the theme for 2026.
OpenClaw is the #1, it's the most popular
open source project in the history of humanity, and it did so in just a few weeks. It exceeded what Linux did in 30 years. And it's that important. It is that important. It will do, well, this is all you do, okay? We're announcing our support of it. Let me just quickly go through this. I want to show you a couple things. You simply type this. You type this into a console, and it goes out. It finds OpenClaw. It downloads it. It builds you an AI agent, and then you could tell it whatever else you need to do. Okay, so let's take a look.
An open source project just dropped.
Andre Karpathy has just launched something called Research is a huge deal.
You give an AI agent a task, go to sleep, it runs 100 experiments overnight, keeping what works and killing what doesn't.
I really love what my stuff enables that person to do. And we had like one guy, he told me like he installed it at his 60-year-old dad, and like they made beer, connected the machine via Bluetooth to OpenClaw. And then we automated everything, including the whole website for people to order.
The lobsterlager fertig sein.
Hundreds of people are queuing up for lobsters in Shenzhen.
OpenClaw. We want to build OpenClaw with OpenClaw.
Everyone is talking about OpenClaw, but what is OpenClaw?
Believe it or not, there's already a Claw con.
Incredible. Incredible. Now, I illustrated effectively what OpenClaw is in this way, and so that all of you can understand it, but let's just think what happened. What is OpenClaw? It connects, it's agentic system. Yeah. It calls and connects to large language models. So the first thing it has resources that it manages. It could access tools, it could access file systems, it could access large language models.
To make this very simple, OpenClaw, when you download it on your computer, all you're doing is you're giving it skills. You're saying that it can use GitHub, it can use your browser, it can use your email, it can use Blender, it can use fucking anything. You can tell it what it can use, give it the skill, and it will do it. Ask it to do something in Blender. Tell it to go into Blender and have it create you a 3D asset that looks like a, tree or a swing set, whatever. It will do that. Same thing with your email. Hey, will you check my email? And if there's any emails from Mary, then make sure to ask if she wants to go out on Friday night. And it will do it. This is the power of OpenClaw. Oh God, I sound like David Andre.
It's able to do scheduling. It's able to do cron jobs. It's able to decompose a prompt that you gave it into step by step by step. It could spawn off and call upon other sub-agents. It has I/O. You could talk to it in any modality you want.
Yeah, and you talk to it in natural language. You just talk to it on WhatsApp or Telegram. Very simple.
Wave at it and it understands you. You could talk to any modality you want. It sends you messages. It texts you, sends you email. So it's got I/O. What else does it have? Well, based on that, you could say, in fact, it's an operating system. I've just used the same syntax that I would describe an operating system. OpenClaw has open sourced essentially the operating system of agentic computers. It is no different than how Windows made it possible for us to create personal computers. Now OpenClaw has made it possible for us to create personal agents. The implication is incredible. The implication is incredible. First of all, the adoption says something, all in itself. However, the most important thing is this. Every single company now realize, every single company, every single software company, every single technology company, for the CEOs, the question is, what's your OpenClaw strategy? Just as we need to all have a Linux strategy, we all needed to have an HTTP, HTML strategy, which started the internet. We all needed to have a Kubernetes strategy, which made it possible for mobile cloud to happen. Every company.
This is actually this is part of my package option when I call businesses and I pitch to them. I pitch OpenClaw now, and I because this is the future. OpenClaw and agentics like it are the future. Agent 0, Pico Claw, Nemo Claw, whatever you want to call it, they're all the same thing, and they're all working towards the same thing. But honestly, I think the fusion models are going to come back too.
In the world today needs to have an open claw strategy, an agentic system strategy. This is the new computer. Now, this is just the exciting part.
Yeah, but quantum.
This is enterprise IT before OpenClaw. You know, and I mentioned earlier, the way enterprise IT works, and the reason why it's called data centers is because these large rooms, these large buildings held data, held the files of people, the structured data of business. And we pass through software that has tools and systems of records and all kinds of workflow that's codified into it, and that turns into tools that humans would use. Digital workers would use. That is the old IT industry. Software companies creating tools, saving files, and of course, GSI's consultants that help companies figure out how to use these tools and integrate these tools. These tools are incredibly valuable for governance and security and privacy and this OpenAI toolkits. And the first part of it is technology experts.
I hate that. I gotta watch it. Oh.
Basically, the AI and robots are going to make so much stuff and provide so many services.
This is exactly what I was talking about.
That they will actually run out of things to do for the humans.
Here is Elon Musk. There was an AI conference. We're going to play you a couple of videos here. Elon talking about how AI is going to fix...
Well, nobody said anything about money, fame, or recognition. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I don't care about money, fame, well, I care about money for sure. I definitely care about money. Money is what, enables me to take care of my family. So I definitely care about money. So that's the most important thing in life, honestly. It is, whether you like it or not. If you don't have money, then you can't take care of yourself. You can't take care of your family, man. Gotta have money. Once you have, but then again, if you're making, there's honorable ways of making money. There's shitty ways of making money. There's a lot of, positivity and negativity built in with it. It's just like, what are you okay with? What can you live with? Really?
So many things so quickly that humans have no idea what's coming. Take a look.
Maybe more likely to be great.
It doesn't always have to be.
And I do think we'll have universal high income. We're basically just issuing money to people, and the really just.
Yep.
Because the output of goods and services will so far exceed the money supply that that effectively you have deflation, because deflation is just the ratio of the outputs of goods and services to the money supply. Basically, AI and robots are going to make so much stuff and provide so many services that they will actually run out of things to do for the humans.
Okay, so you really have to think about this. It's a little, it's complex what he's saying there. The output of services will outpace the money supply, meaning that AI and robots and 3D printing and all of these things will be able to build so many things so quickly, so easily, at scale, so cheaply, that will rapidly outpace the actual money supply, which could cause deflation, right? We're always having inflation because we're always spending more than we have because the government's completely inefficient, yeah, all of those reasons.
Hoping you're not too old, you'll see, You'll see in the next 5 years, man. Really, I'd say you'll be a believer in the next year. You'll understand in the next year. You'll see the way the world's going to change with the exponential growth. I mean, just the past month. Oh my God, the past month has been insane. But yeah, you'll see.
But once the AI systems are in place, and yes, I'm not going to do all the dystopian versions of it right now, but once the systems are in place and we have robots doing things and we can 3D print all of these things, and you have drones dropping things off, we will be able to build things, quite literally build physical things via digital technology that will outpace the need for money. That's a rather extraordinary way of looking at what the future might bring. Here's Elon with a bit more on what that could do to the world economy.
Okay, this is going to sound pretty crazy.
It's okay.
We've been talking about crazy.
It's a receptive audience to wild prognostications.
Yes.
I'd say the economy is 10 times its current size in 10 years. Greater than.
Okay.
I'd say more than that.
Yeah, you
really saying something.
Yeah, you'd said triple-digit growth in 5+ years from now on GDP, and 10x the economy. But in terms of your ability,
I feel like that's a 10x in roughly 10 years. I feel is
more 20x.
Actually a fairly comfortable prediction.
You've probably seen the conversations online lately. Censorship's coming back and it's happening everywhere. Platforms are controlling what we see and pushing their own narratives. Rumble is one of the few companies that has stood up to big tech censorship, and now they're taking on the big banks too.
But yeah, it's insane. It's insane. I gotta get off here anyway. Gotta get out of here. Gotta get out of here. Gotta get off. Gotta eat something, man. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you.